Good morning, Hub Kids, or whatever time of day you are viewing this. It was so much fun making a video for you last week. Again, I wish I could be seeing your faces, but this will just have to do. So, last week, do you remember what we talked about? Hopefully you can remember, one, that you can pause this video anytime, and I would love for you to pause the video because I want you to be sitting here with your family and having discussions and talking to each other just like we normally did in Hub Kids. So pause the video anytime so that you can have discussions as a family. But we also talked about Jesus and specifically Jesus's prayer. So if you want, take a minute and talk to each other about what you remember about Jesus's prayer. So not only did we get to find out what Jesus prays, but we got to sit next to Jesus and hear him pray to the Father. And who was he praying for? He was praying for us the whole time. Do you remember some of the things he prayed for us? Remember the blue jar? He was specifically praying that we would be in unity. Do you remember unity? Unity means that we would all be together, that we would be in one heart and in one mind, and that we would be in the world, but not of the world. I am so thankful that I am loved enough to be able to talk to God, and just like Jesus talks to him. So Jesus went to a quiet place in a garden to pray alone. And we start this next chapter, Jesus is still in that garden where he just finished his prayer to God, and then in comes just chaos. So a lot happens quickly. So pause the video, and if you didn't listen to the sermon, I want you to read through this chapter as a family, and after you've read through it, practice retelling to each other what happens. If you have an ESV Bible, they usually have little titles that you can read. The high priest questions Jesus, and that can be a cue to remind each other of what happened in that section. So I'm going to make a silly face, so that when you pause it, you can pause it on a crazy face. Was that good? Okay. So, in a previous chapter of John, Peter tells Jesus how much he loves him and how he'll follow him to the ends of the earth and he'll do anything that Jesus tells him to anytime. And Jesus says, Peter, you're going to betray me 3 times before the rooster crows on this very day. Peter had a hard time believing that from the comfort and safety of that room where nobody was out to arrest Jesus. What do you think happened? Well, if you read through this passage, Jesus gets betrayed by more than just Peter. Judas is the obvious person that betrays him. So let's take a minute and think of what the word betray means. Have you heard that word before? Betray means to hurt your friend. And usually when we use the word betray, it's not just hurt your friend, but we are hurting our friend in order to benefit our enemy. So like Judas, he got paid by his enemy and Jesus' enemy to give Jesus to them so that they could arrest him. That was betrayal. Peter, in this passage, betrayed Jesus a couple of times. I would love for you to think through those and talk about how he betrayed him. Peter pretends he doesn't know Jesus with his words, but he also forgets Jesus and his words in the garden when he cuts off the guard's ear. Is that something that Jesus would have wanted Peter to do? No, and it made Jesus' heart so sad when Peter did that. It made him so sad that what did Jesus do? He picked up the ear, he put it back on the man's head, and he healed him. Then Jesus continues to be betrayed by his own people. The same people who were throwing him a party just a few days before. Do you remember the palms and laying them down at his feet and heralding him? Now they've completely forgotten him. So here's my question. Does Jesus stop loving Judas even though he betrayed him? Does Jesus stop loving Peter even though he betrayed him? Does Jesus stop loving any of the people that have forgotten him and are putting him through this trial like a criminal? He does not. He does not stop loving any of them. So, how often a day do you forget Jesus? And have you ever thought of that as being a betrayal? Sometimes when I use angry words or I'm unkind to people, in my words and my actions, I'm forgetting that Jesus loves me so much that he died on the cross. And I'm forgetting that Jesus also loves that one person that I'm being unkind to so much that he died for them on the cross as well. Those are ways that I am acting and speaking that I'm forgetting Jesus, and I'm acting in a way that's betraying him as well. That makes me sad, and I wish that wasn't the case, but I know that Jesus won't stop loving me even though I'm betraying him. So, today our craft is a picture of a rooster. This was colored by my son, James, and this rooster is a reminder to us that we all are like Peter, and we are all like Judas, and we all have betrayed Jesus with our words and our actions, but Jesus loves us anyway, but we still want to remember. So, you can color this picture of your rooster, and you can write the word remember on that and just use it as a reminder, especially this next week before next week, that Jesus loves us and that we don't want to betray him, but he loves us even if we do. And just because it's fun, here's my picture of my rooster at my house. His name is Gerald. Have a great week, and hopefully I will see all of your faces in person soon.